Hey Max, hope you're doing well. Coach Halfley was talking about how you looked pretty quick out there, and I was just wondering what did you do to prepare for today, and how do you think it went?
Oh, I think today went excellent. I felt like me and the rest of the guys, we were well over prepared. And as far as the drills and things, there was kind of a specific list we knew was going to be thrown at us. So we were able to prepare for a long period of time, since January. And I think the quickness, it showed.
We'll go next to Mitchell.
Hey, Max, this is Mitchell Wolf with the Brawl Network. I'm curious as to, have you been in touch with any other Boston College players in the NFL, namely linebackers like Matt Milano or even Luke Kuechly? And if so, what advice have they given you about not only the pro day, but the pre-draft process in general?
I have been in touch with Matt, and what he said was, just do your thing, stay focused, work hard. And it's not so much about what happens with the draft. Don't allow that to be the biggest of your concerns. But once you get your foot in the door, make the most of your opportunity, which is great advice. And of course, I'm hoping to get drafted. I hope this workout put me in a position to get drafted. However, it's not the biggest concern of mine.
We'll go next to Rich.
Max, you kind of think of middle linebackers as brawn and tough, but it's probably the most thinking man's position on the defense. Just talk about the mental aspect that you would bring to an NFL team.
Oh, yeah. So I've been playing middle linebacker at Boston College starting since my sophomore year. And even then, I took upon a role of leadership and making calls and checks on the defense. So as an intellectual player, I think I'm probably one of the best in this class. And I have a lot of confidence in my ability to learn a playbook, learn a scheme, and anticipate what's going to be thrown at us. And as a middle linebacker also, you have to be athletic as well as physical. And like I've said, probably the most intelligent player on the field. And I think I fit those three characteristics, and I'm excited to see what happens.
We'll go next to Mateus.
Max, here's Matheus from Timeout on Brazil. Congratulations for going for the NFL draft. You have 2 seasons with more than 90 tackles, like one with 100 plus tackles. How do you think that all your career in college in Boston, and like the chance of being the captain of this team, how do you think all these little things and big things help you during this process?
Yeah, I think of my career at Boston College as an exceptional one. Not to brag or be arrogant. However, I did finish my career with some of the one of the leading tacklers in BC history, and I think that renders some attention from a lot of NFL teams. So I think that my career speaks for itself, but also the coaches will speak on behalf of my leadership, me as a man in the locker room, and me as a teammate, which are also very critical in playing football. So I think that my career will allow me a shot at the NFL. And it was a lot of hard work. It was a long time coming. But, 4 years as a starter at Boston College is something to be proud of, which I am.
We'll go next to Andy.
Max, what's it been like to go through this process alongside Isaiah McDuffie? Obviously played together at BC for years, but also both linebackers going through the draft process.
Sure. Few know that me and Isaiah actually were training in a similar part of Florida during this process. So Isaiah was in Fort Lauderdale and I was closer to the Miami area. So we've been communicating since late December, January on specifics. Hey, how's your 40 training going? What are you doing to prepare for the bench? How have the drills been going for you? And also we've been on the field together. We have a great relationship and we can bounce feedback off each other. But also playing alongside Zay, it elevated my game. And I think he would say the same too. He's an excellent linebacker and we were a great duo here together. And I think that's what helped us gain a lot of attention.
We'll go next to Trevor.
Hey, Max, how you doing?
Hey, Trevor.
Just curious what this past year has just taught you about being a leader and just kind of a voice in the locker room. Obviously, you've had that role for a little while now, but just in such a unique season, just what that taught you about that experience.
So the experience this year in COVID, I think it truly brought the team together on a closer level. We didn't have access to the outside world. And at Boston College, Coach Hafley ran a really tight ship so that we could remain COVID free. And it built a lot of camaraderie and team chemistry in the locker room. Going forward, I think my role as a leader will be more internal. I'll have to lead myself in an NFL locker room. And although wherever I end up, I'll aspire to be a captain someday, it's going to start by me leading myself, me doing my job, me staying in my lane, and earning the respect of my teammates at the next level.
We'll go next to Josh Allen.
Hey, how we doing? Congrats on your journey and, potentially, hearing your name called in the NFL draft. Just wondering, who have you leaned on in this process, and maybe current players or anyone in the NFL that you've talked to kind of go through about this experience, and any communications with the Buccaneers?
I believe I met with a Buck scout when I played in Hawaii at the Hula Bowl, but that was a long time ago. I forget the name. Also, yeah, I've been leaning on a lot of my former teammates that have been in the NFL, Wyatt Ray, Will Harris. And like I said, Isaiah McDuffie is one of my best friends, and we've been leaning on each other to fight through training. And I anticipate we'll continue that going forward. So there's a great culture of linebackers going to the NFL from Boston College. Like I mentioned, Matt Milano. I'm hoping to gain advice and continue learning from him as I go forward.
And we'll go next to Mitchell.
Hey, Max. Coach Hafley mentioned that you are down to around 223 pounds. And I was curious as to, what was your playing weight for your last game at BC, and how much did you get down, and what led to that decision to try to trim some weight?
So I probably played at about 228 pounds this year, maybe even 230. And right now, today I weighed in at 223. A lot of that has been the rigorous training and the schedule I've been on and the diet. So losing body fat contributes to that. But also there's a theory when you train a little heavier and then you come into pro day a little bit lighter, your legs will move a little faster for you. So I was told today by all my buddies, run like the wind. So I was trying to be a little lighter, maybe catch a breeze.